I think like INFJs have a hard time communicating. Um, we definitely have communication issues, and it's important to acknowledge this so we can be aware of it so that we can actually work on it. You know, I want to say I've made baby steps towards improvement. Before I used to be passive aggressive, and I have a tendency to still, I guess, do that. Then I also have a tendency to speak up more. Especially I don't wait until I'm pushed beyond a certain level of tolerance anymore. Just kind of like, if once I feel the nudge, I already know that something is is bothering me and I need to speak up on it instead of letting it fester. It takes a lot of courage to just speak up about your needs, especially as an INFJ, right? And then I wonder, like, why? Why are we like this? I think we don't want to hurt people's feelings, but we're hurting ourselves. And I don't know about you guys, but I do have this intellectual and rational side to me, but I also have a very emotional side to me as well. And I notice that when emotions run high, I have a tendency to become very silent. The kind of silence that is very uncomfortable to other people because they're not accustomed to seeing me this way. And I remember somebody called me out on that. Thank you. Thank you for calling me out on that. And, it made me inquire, like, why do I get silent? Yeah, on a surface level, you don't want to hurt someone else. But when you go deeper, it's just like, think about when somebody is in a highly emotional state. I think the first thing they do is they react. Like, say somebody is super mad, they'll, like, I don't know, some people resort to throwing things or breaking things. Some people resort to yelling, screaming, saying things they don't mean. So, like, when I'm in a not reactive, when I'm in a highly emotionally charged state, I have a tendency to go quiet so that I can give myself the necessary time that I need to understand, process, and self regulate. Just kind of wait until the storm passes within me so that I can talk, you know, talk in a way that is rational, balanced, reasonable, you know. So, I don't know, I don't think many people realize the importance of that. I think a lot of people just react. Yeah, and then a lot of things that hurtful words are exchanged, and I don't know, just seems like fighting creates more problems than it does solutions. And I don't know, when I was younger I was probably more volatile, but now that I'm older I'm kind of chilling out, and I just don't really want to waste my energy on fighting. I'd rather have a conversation. But I don't think a lot of the other personality types can understand that. So, I mean, it goes back to using our words, just saying, hey, right now I'm super emotional and I want some time to calm down so that we can have a conversation about what's bothering me. I need to say that because I just do silence. But, everything's a progression. You can't expect a baby to run when it still hasn't learned to walk. So be kind to yourself and acknowledge that the efforts and the work that you're putting in to become a better communicator. And you know what? Like, I am also learning not to let things fester for too long, because that's when you get like a volcano of emotions that wants to explode. I just, I try to catch it in the early phases. So if someone is doing something to me that bothers me, obviously I'll let it go the first time, and then I'll be like, okay, like, Have they triggered me? Is there something in me that I need to attend to? The first time around. And the second time, again, I will go into self-analysis mode, and then I will also analyze the other person's behavior, because obviously if it's happened a second time, it's not just a me thing, it could be a them thing. And then third time around, I'm like, okay, this person is obviously projecting, because if you have a certain level of knowledge and awareness and intelligence to step back and look at yourself and how you might be contributing to a problem, and you know that you're not like creating this problem, you're just doing everything that you possibly can, which doesn't disrupt harmony, and this person is obviously bringing it to yourself, to your doorstep. You need to realize that, okay, this has happened one time, two time, three time. At this point, this is a you problem, because obviously we take the necessary time to self-reflect and self-analyze, and try to understand, am I doing something wrong? In most cases, it's them. I feel like I've blamed myself my whole life, and I always thought I was the one that was doing something wrong. But at this phase of life, I'm just like, what, I've been putting in enough work within myself to know that I'm probably not causing this disruption. Obviously, if they're triggering me, then that's something that I need to look into, because when they trigger you, they're just kind of like way showers. There's something within you that you need to make peace with. A good example, I'll share a scenario with you. So I had this job that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed everything about it. I enjoyed my coworkers. I enjoyed the products that we were selling. I enjoyed the customers that came in. I enjoyed everything about this job. But the owner started getting snippy with me and just saying very unkind words, words that cut people down, And then I started noticing that, when I would make requests for particular things, it's almost like she purposely would go out of her way not to get those things that I requested. And it almost seemed like she was trying to sabotage my success. She would pull me aside, and she would say a lot of critical things to me. First time that it happened, I was crushed. I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? And I explained. I said, I wasn't aware I was doing this, and let me please be patient with me while I process this so that I can make the necessary adjustments. But then she pulled me aside a second time, and then a third time, and then a fourth time she snapped at me in front of someone else. So at this point, I'm just like, this isn't a me thing, this is a you thing. Although she was shifting all of the blame for her unhappiness and all of the blame for her feeling disrespected onto me. And granted, I feel like every time I go out into the world, I try to make things lighter and brighter for the people I encounter. So, after the first, second, third, fourth encounter for snapping at me and saying some cruel things and some pretty demeaning things, and I feel like you already know this, hurt people. If you're gonna cut somebody down like that, and the constructive criticism isn't constructive, it's destructive, and it's not coming from you, it's coming from them. Don't get me wrong, I probably had issues myself because I was triggered, and I realized that, okay, I have poor boundaries, I need to speak up, I need to value myself and notice my self-worth, and that's why I never defended myself. Also, I just need to like maybe have a lower tolerance threshold, you know because like I was just allowing this person to continuously try to beat me down instead of just saying from the get-go, like, hey, like, I don't appreciate you talking to me like that, or hey, like, right now I feel like you're demeaning me and sabotaging my success, and maybe you have some insecurities that you need to deal with, and maybe I'm triggering you, and maybe you need to take a look at them. And I'm not saying this from a place of, what is that? I'm not saying this from a place of trying to belittle you. I'm saying this from a place of love, okay? I want you to recognize what you're doing. It's pretty destructive, I'm getting better. I think the more I go and grow through these painful experiences, the more I learn from them, and the more tools I acquire, and the more practice I get, so that when I encounter things in the future, I can handle them with grace, and actually speak up. Thing is, yeah, just remember to be kind to yourself and to shift your perspective from being so hard on yourself to like recognizing the gifts that you bring to the world, because you are a gift. And if you have forgotten, I'm here to remind you, because we spent most of our lives sacrificing ourselves for everyone else, and now it's time to give ourselves that same kindness and care. Anyways, I don't know if it made sense, and I've made 3 videos. I don't know if any of it made sense, but if you learned something, cool. If you didn't, that's cool too. Blessings to one and all. Amen.